So guys, Oshiomhole don't make U-turn. We all know that recently Oshiomhole was applauded for coming out to say that some retired generals are the ones involved in the stealing of our solid minerals, especially in the north, and to be specific, in places like Zamfara, where we have gold that the federal government is not even responsible for. Now, Oshiomhole is making a U-turn. He has come out to say, I did not say retired generals are behind stolen solid minerals. Nigerians are wondering why the shift, why the U-turn. Was he threatened? Is he thinking that that statement is going to hurt his political ambition? Because we know Oshiomhole is aspiring to become one day the president of Nigeria. Why has he suddenly say that wasn't what he said? So guys, to be very clear on this, I'm going to be sharing with you the video where Oshiomhole said this before now and the latest interview he had today on Arise TV. And if you don't know, let me tell you that many people were so much happy with Oshiomhole. I mean, people were very happy when he made that statement that he is very bold, vocal, as in coming out to make such statements. It's not easy. Even the president himself cannot even crack down on those stealing the natural resources. Look at the list of, those sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria that was handed over to Nigeria. The Buhari's government could not prosecute them. Now the Tinubu's government is there, he can't prosecute them. They are just wanting to protect their political interests over national interests. That's what we are saying. So guys, let me just allow you to take a look at where Oshiomhole said what he said before and what he's currently saying. Take a look.
Those involved in this illegal mining, they use choppers. They procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the South. They give them arms. They use choppers to come and cut away the gold. And they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC, and I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what subsequently happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Well, I think sometimes the media takes statements out of context. I sat on that committee as a member of the appropriation committee. Okay. And the way the Senate works, every subcommittee submits its report to the Committee on Appropriation. And then we ask questions and they answer. And one of the complaints of the chairman of the Committee on Solid Minerals was that here is a sector where he measured particular nationalities who are not Nigerians, how these foreigners come in and cut away gold and other precious metals and solid minerals. And he gave an estimate as to what he thought we can earn as a nation. Yet another senator also said that, ironically, this is another statement in its own right. He said, ironically, Nigeria was searching for more solid minerals when they stumbled by accident to the liquid gold, the crude oil. So the objective was solid minerals, and then they found crude oil. And that, what an irony of fate that at the end of the day, today our mainstay is crude oil, and we are not making money from solid minerals. And they lament the way foreigners are coming to cut away these minerals. And so they were asking for more money for certain agency to ensure that we develop our solid minerals sector and and the kind of resources he believe we can earn that might even be much more than we are earning from oil. I studied a couple of countries that rely exclusively on solid minerals, even within the African continent. And I then reply that it is not that money is not being made from solid minerals. It is absolutely impossible for anyone, particularly foreigners far away outside the African continent, coming to Nigeria, locating a site, not be geologists, and they go straight to where they can find particular solid minerals, and they start mining it, and they take it away. So it may be correct to say government is not able to harvest, or to, harvest what accrues from solid mineral exploration, and that the illegality is being done, and people know who are behind it. I then give an example of myself. And one correction that must be made, and this is not fair on the part of those who report. At no time did I say retired generals. I have many friends who are retired and who are suffering, who can't change batteries in their car. They retire as pure military officers. They never did any quartermaster job. They never had any political exposure. Even the days of military rule. So it would be, as a matter of fact, not correct to suggest to anyone that all retired generals are involved in a particular crime. It's not sensible to say so. That would border on reckless, sweepy generalization. That is not what I said. I said the problem is that some, and I still believe it to be so, I know it to be so. I said some retired generals are involved. And somehow we are not deploying the same force as a nation that we deploy to protect our
oil in the Niger Delta.
Our oil in Niger Delta. And I said, a retired general who I had the honor of appointing and who graciously accepted to serve as a returning officer in a primary election when I was national chairman of APC, in his report back to me as chairman, after presenting the report of the primary, he said, Adams, you are worried about the primaries, but what he has seen is far more serious than that. And that the banditry that is evolving, or kidnapping, as it then was, or kidnapping, there was no use of the word banditry then, that those kidnappers, in the first instance, are in the services of very powerful, in his own word, powerful, some powerful retired generals. And the youth chopper, this was a retired general telling me to the illegal site, as they take the mined gold and whatever is it that they are mining, they drop weapons to civilians who have been trained on the use of those weapons to provide protection for the illegal mining activity. He added that sometimes, of course, they offer that protection, but some other time they divert these arms to now terrorize innocent citizens, or sometimes kidnapping.
Yeah.
And I then said to him, there is no way I can comprehend
what he was
the
saying.
story because I have no military training or security training. And I pleaded with him to do a summary, not more than 2, maximum 3 pages, that I will submit as chairman of the ruling party at that time. I will submit to the president, who incidentally is a retired general before becoming the president of Nigeria. So he will understand the issues clearer, and advise him, put your phone number. so that the president can call you if he so wish, and you can give him this detailed security dimension. Because he warned me that if that thing is not checkmated, what is happening in the Northeast will be a child's play. And he told me this gold run from that area all the way to Kaduna, all the way to the southwest, by the way, up to Oshu State and elsewhere. I also know in my part of the state, there are solid minerals.
So what did the president
and so on. And so I took this letter, as I promised him, because I saw a patriotic officer, though retired, but not tired of his loyalty to Nigeria is not weakened. And I gave it to the then president. Buhari. And I said so. And I said, sir, go through it. It is self-explanatory. My advice, I can only advise the president. My advice is that you can call him and he can give you more graphic details of what he saw and what he knows and his fears about what will happen if this is not nip in the bud. And so I said, when we lament, as the committee was doing, that we are not exploiting our solid, that is not true. It is being exploited, but it's being done on a large scale illegally.
Yeah,
I stand by that.
Good.
I know it to be the truth because the general has no business flattering me.
Good.
And I also know that at some other level, there are pockets of everybody talking about sub-nationalities coming to do illegal mining. They are cutting away this kind of. Can you, just like I argue when I was in the NSC, when NPC used to talk about smuggling, and I said, if something of such volume, how can it be smuggled out and nobody sees it?
Yeah.
So you can't have that scale of illegal activity, right, without men and women of power
and
providing
resources.
Cover.
Yeah. No, but
and resources. And I said in that state statement in the Senate, I said, can you imagine who can afford a chopper? And it's not every chopper that can carry out that kind of activity. It cannot be a civilian chopper. A chopper that can go irregularly to carry arms, drop, mine the item, whether they are gold, take them out to a location where they prepare them, and they pass through our borders.
Yeah, but what you have said, Senator, is not different from what was reported.
No,
some
what I don't like is the attempt, like when I heard you here saying, retired generals. That's not fair.
Some, we're talking about some, yeah.
That's the correct word to say.
Yeah, some generals.
But also, this is not to limit it
to some generals.
To some generals.
Oh, fine, but the point...
Perhaps the more appropriate word, because I limited to it because of what that general told me.
Yeah.
And he mentioned to me that some retired generals, very powerful people were connected, were involved in it.
Yeah.
But I also believe that there are other non-generals who are powerful, who are also providing cover for these foreigners. I mean, let me ask you, you think it's so possible for something that is so widespread to be taking place and
that's why you
everybody lament it, except those who should deal with it.
And that's why you raised the issue.
That's right.
Currently, I mean, you talked about the former president. We're not talking about
I was being specific because I did.
Yeah.
On oath, I can swear I did. I know we call it Baba Mengeskia.
Yeah, but when you...
he knows I gave it to him.
Yeah, but when you talked about the fact that when you discussed this issue, weren't you talking about the current president or the current executive or president not doing what was done in the Niger Delta by employing military might, to handle this situation? Even if you can't get the generals, I mean, you're not mentioning names. Someone would ask you why names not being mentioned, for example. But even if you can't, Nigeria can get to some generals or some resource people, yes.
Yeah.
Why can't the nation get to the foreigners you are discussing about and probably arrest them or stop them from doing this?
Now, what I can say is this. There is no need to talk about the present government. If there is a disease that has been there, and I spoke to that disease, and I spoke to the time I became aware of the disease, and I went on to name or describe my source of information and the step I took as a Nigerian to see if the then power can deal with it. Of course, until it is dealt with. My point is, I did not come to Abuja to lament.
Yeah.
I came to the Senate to listen, to hear cries, to hear stories, and to act on them. And in acting, that's exactly what we did on the floor of the Senate. To say, we have to find courage. If you know, the story is edited. We withdraw Mr. President's attention to this scale of abuse, this scale of looting of Nigeria solid minerals by foreigners or even by Nigerians themselves. So, and that is what it should be. Every day we sit in the Senate, particularly in the primary, we pass motions urging government, not necessarily because he started the problem, not necessarily because he's not doing something about the matter, but that we want more action. That is why I went on to emphasize. I'm aware, for example.
Don't forget, is the same APC government, and government is a continuum.
Now, this is the problem you have. Does it matter the color of the government?
No. What I'm saying, government
doesn't matter.
That's what I just said.
For
government
you,
is a continuum.
That's right. Now, this government, I'm aware, I think the current Minister of Solid Minerals has taken steps to recruit what they call marshals, to deal with these, some of these illegal miners. That for me is a wonderful initiative. It is to acknowledge that something illegal is going on and it cannot be allowed.
And one must also commend you that you raised the issue.
Before the
it was good that you raised the issue.
But
because that's what you're there to do as a senator.
Yeah, but beyond this commendation, let me finish the totality of my statement. I said, I appreciate that initiative, that somebody in the ministry, the president has appointed a minister, and the minister is concerned that we can't be here and people are cutting away our natural endowment.
Yes.
And he has set up some marshals, etc., which is probably what is within his control. But I said, I would like to see government deploying the same amount of force in protecting our solid minerals and dealing with those who are involved in illegal mining, just like illegal bunkering, with the same force of JTF, Joint Military Command, to deal with anyone involved. So that, let it not be seen as if, when it comes to oil, we are ready. Because you are touching our vein. And then this other one, because we don't have the numbers, we seem to think that we can use less force. And because the people involved are powerful, only superior power can neutralize them. I said so.
Very correct.
Because for me, this is what the president will expect of a loyal senator. Right? To draw his attention and to draw the country's attention so that when those people are being dealt with, this country. Somebody will bring in political motive. Oh, this general, maybe this retired general, this retired PAMSEC, this former labor leader, one comrade, maybe because he made the statement last week, that's why they are dealing with him. Let people know that these are serious economic crimes.
That should be dealt with.
Because part of the complexity of dealing with criminality in Nigeria is the ethnic dimension that is evoked and sometimes compounded by political affiliation. And once they evoke the ethnic dimension, and even sometimes compounded by religion, and then summarized by political affiliation, the debate is closed. Everybody become blind.
All right, so but the good news, government is doing something.
The good news,
that's what you just said.
They are doing something. I mean, they've recruited people to deal with it.
Okay.
But I think that the weapon that these guys, according to that general, and I believe him, the weapons that are used to protect these illegal miners, I don't think those marshals are so well equipped with such the same level of offensive weapon.
But why can't
counter?
Why should?
Now we are not going to ask me this. The point is, the essence of democracy and of parliament is to raise issues
fine,
as they arise. Now this has arisen because the committee was lamenting, and I said to the committee, our business in the Senate is not to lament. We should pass a resolution urging the government to deal decisively with these people, exactly with the same force that we are dealing with those who were involved in illegal bunkering and who are probably still involved in it. So JTF is still active in ensuring that our liquid gold is protected.
Let's get on to
this for me is a straightforward thing.
Yeah. Let's get on to something that is very troubling. The frequency and magnitude of explosions from petrol tankers, or accidents is becoming what you can call a nuisance and actually alarming. What's your Interior Committee doing about it? What's the Interior Committee doing?
That's not the function of the Interior Committee.
Okay, but is this issue, the National Assembly basically, are they doing something about it? Whether it's at the Senate level or the House?
No. What we can do when you have
raised, just like you raised the issue.
This have been raised. We have even passed motion. Senators from those part of the country where these explosions occur, they have never failed to draw the attention of the Senate and to prepare a motion urging the Senate to call on the authorities and also calling for humanitarian services, etc., etc. But if you say the problem with Nigeria, do you have the data? Is it really the first time these things are happening?
It's not. That's the
Fine.
problem.
So, well, it is not for me here to try to speculate. But if you ask me, the Committee on Interior, I do not deal with the movement of tankers.
Okay. Let's talk about...
But what we should say, and this should be your duty as a media, I dare suggest, since you can propose to me, I hope it's not offensive if I propose to you, is that you should devote some time to enlighten people
about
the danger.
Oh, we've been doing that.
Yeah, we must continue to do so. For as long as the disease persists, the doctor should not go on sleep.
That's why
doctors are always on call duty.
That's what we're talking about it now, because that was the next issue I was going to raise.
Some people are going to raise sentiment like poverty. Poverty is not synonymous with madness. And nobody lectured me about poverty because I come from a very humble, a very poor background. But my father tells me poverty is not the reason for my mother to carry gari and be frying it on superhighway with vehicles coming. Right? And so with, like you said, with the amount of people, the number of people who have been killed or who have died, it's enough lesson for people to abstain. But somehow, I read the story just yesterday or so in one of the papers, that some people were trying to attack police or some other people who were trying to prevent them from going to school or from in spite of recent
happenings.
So we must keep educating until everybody become aware that
of the dangers
is really, really life-threatening.
And not just educating,
even sanction.
Sanction, and then even in other crimes.
So guys, you have seen how Oshiomhole, who was applauded, who was praised for boldly coming out, saying it the way it is, that there are generals who are responsible for our stolen natural minerals. Now, he's now saying that wasn't what he said. And he has tried to recoin it, People are wondering, is it because of his political ambition? Is it because he wants to become president someday, sometime? Is it because maybe he has been threatened by powers that be in the north and all that? Because we know that the gold in Zamfara does not go, the money that is being generated there does not go into the coffers of the country. But for the south, the oil there is for everybody. But the gold in Zamfara, I'm just wondering, since this gold, we'll be hearing about this gold, the government has not even talked about going to work on that and try to make a lot of money from that gold. Rather, they prefer to tax Nigerians to the point that businesses are now folding, businesses are collapsing. Nigerians are looking for a way to jackpot. There is no hope in the country. A whole lot of things going on because of mediocrity kind of leadership that we are getting from this Buhari and Tinubu's government. See what is happening. There is no hope. I was discussing with somebody. He said, you need to see what is happening in Nigeria. The way people buy one another. The way people will use knife and cut human flesh. Some of them will even sell it. You begin to ask what has happened to conscience. What has happened to people's conscience? Why is it that fear, initially, when you see a drop of blood, you may not even recover from it in the next 1 week? People will be given 10K, 20, 30, and they will be asked to go and look for a female breast or something like that and bring. And people will go and buy somebody. So guys, there was this story of a guy that I watched with his girlfriend. He came to his girlfriend and told his girlfriend has a sister that has triplets. He told him that he would like to have one of them, not knowing that somebody has paid him that he needed a child for sacrifice. And he just casually told it to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend thought it was a joke. Guess what? They started looking for that little girl after some time, not knowing that this boy was able to lay hold on that little girl. When they now started searching and searching, the girlfriend did not even remember again. Now he now said, oh, there was a time this guy said something like this. So boy, she was not very sure because she didn't see. Do you know, after investigation upon investigation, it was discovered that it's that guy that took that little girl. So these people are very young. I mean, this boyfriend and girlfriend, but you can imagine the kind of mind they have in doing what they are doing. Honestly, Nigeria is gone. Nigeria is gone. Humanity is nowhere. I mean, empathy is nowhere. Having feeling for others, nowhere. Honestly, this country is gone. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.